Have you ever stopped to observe the world with the coldness of an analyst and wondered why some people seem to have an invisible magnet for money, while the vast majority keep working until exhaustion without ever seeing a real change in their bank account? It is not a matter of luck. It is not a matter of superior intelligence, and certainly it is not a matter of working more hours. I have spent 94 years deciphering this code, and the answer hides in a principle I have applied since I was 11 years old and sold gum door to door, but which very few know and almost no one has the discipline to apply. I call it the 90-day rule for silent wealth. Imagine this for a moment. I started my life with barely $100 in my pocket. Today, my fortune exceeds 100 billion. That growth did not happen by a stroke of luck in the lottery, nor by a single magical investment. It happened because I understood, long before neuroscience confirmed it, that human beings need quarterly cycles to reprogram their relationship with money. Wealth is not built in a day, but neither does it require a whole lifetime of suffering if you know how to compress the effort. Here I am going to reveal to you exactly how this method works. It is not an abstract theory. It is an operating system. And what I am going to share with you has the potential to change your financial trajectory in the next 3 months, just as it has done for thousands of people who have stopped looking for the noise of quick success to embrace the silence of real progress. But before entering into the mechanics, I need you to understand the fundamental pillar of this philosophy: silence. We live in a culture of ostentation. On social media, on television, in bar conversations, everyone talks about what they are going to do. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to buy that car. I'm going to invest in this cryptocurrency. The noise is deafening. And I will tell you a secret I have learned observing the true owners of the world. Real money is mute. True wealth is built in the dark, in privacy, far from the applause and external validation. There exists a devastating psychological phenomenon called the premature exposure effect. Studies from the best universities confirm what I have known by instinct. When you announce your financial goals before having achieved them, your brain releases a dose of dopamine similar to what it would receive if you had already reached the objective. You feel good. You feel successful just for saying it. And that premature satisfaction kills your motivation. It reduces by up to 60% the probabilities that you will actually do the dirty work necessary to reach the goal. That is why the first rule of the 90 days is absolute secrecy. During the next 3 months, you are not going to tell anyone what you are doing. You are not going to post on Instagram that you are building your empire. You are not going to brag to your friends. You are going to disappear from the social radar of validation. You are going to work in the shadows, because in the shadows is where compound interest works its magic without interruptions. Now, let's talk about time. Why 90 days? Why not a month or a year? Human biology has the answer. Modern science tells us that the brain needs approximately 66 days to form a basic automatic habit. But when it involves something as emotionally charged and complex as money, which involves fear, security, status, and ego, that period of neural rewiring extends up to 90 days, a quarter.
It is the exact time you need to break the inertia of poverty and create a new inertia of abundance. It is like pushing a stopped train. During the first 60 days, you push, and it seems like the train doesn't move. You sweat, your muscles ache, and your mind screams at you to give up because it's not working. It is the zone of disillusionment. This is where 90% of aspiring rich people die. They quit just before the wheels start turning. But if you hold on, if you keep pushing in silence until day 90, the miracle happens. The train starts to move. It gains momentum, and once it moves, it is almost impossible to stop it. I manage Berkshire Hathaway in 90-day cycles. Every quarter, we sit down, evaluate, adjust, and execute. We don't look at the stock price every hour. We look at the results every quarter. That quarterly tunnel vision allows you to ignore the daily noise and concentrate on the signal. What you are about to learn is not a formula to get rich quick. If you are looking for that, close this and go to the casino. This is a formula to get rich for sure. I'm going to teach you to audit your life with the precision of a forensic examiner. I'm going to teach you to create invisible accounts that your brain will forget exist. I am going to teach you to invert the flow of money so that you spend what is left over after saving, and not the other way around. And I warn you, it does not require you to be a genius. I am not. My breakfast costs $3 at McDonald's. I have lived in the same house since 1958. Wealth has nothing to do with complexity or luxury. It has to do with behavior. Prepare to dismantle everything you thought you knew about appearing successful. We are going to start building real success, and we are going to do it without anyone noticing until it is too late for them to catch up to you. Before you can build a skyscraper that challenges the skyline and withstands the strongest winds, you have to do something that no one sees, something dirty and exhausting. You have to dig a deep hole and examine the soil quality with the obsession of a geologist. If you build on sand, no matter how beautiful your blueprints are or how expensive your materials are, the building will inevitably fall. The same happens with your wealth. You cannot start accumulating capital sustainably if you do not know exactly, with a surgical precision that borders on obsessive, where your money is escaping today. The first practical and non-negotiable step of this 90-day protocol is not investing in the stock market. It is not looking for a second job to earn more. It is performing what I call a financial life autopsy. And I use the word autopsy deliberately because you have to look at your finances with the coldness of a forensic doctor looking for the cause of death. Without emotions, without judgments, only looking for the truth of the data. Most people live in a dense and comforting financial fog. If you ask them how much they spent on food last month, they will give you a vague estimate. About $500, I guess. If you then look at their real bank statements, the figure is usually double or triple. That gap, that abyss between what you think you spend and what you actually spend, is the exact place where your dreams of financial freedom die. It is the zone of denial, and it is there
where poverty hides disguised as necessary expenses. During the first week of this 90-day challenge, your only task, your sacred mission, is to become a coroner of your own economic past. I want you to print, yes, on physical paper, so you can cross out, underline, and mark with an aggressive red pen your bank and credit card statements from the last 6 months. Not 3, 6. We need to see seasonal patterns, behavioral trends, expenses that repeat cyclically and that your brain has learned to ignore to protect your ego. You are going to sit in silence, without distractions, without music, and you are going to categorize every penny. And when I say every penny, I mean every penny. That $3 subscription you forgot to cancel 2 years ago and that keeps draining your account like a leech? That morning coffee that seems harmless, but added up, represents $1,000 a year that could be in an index fund. Those bank fees that the bank charges you for maintenance and that you accept passively as if they were a divine and inevitable tax. What you are going to find is going to hurt physically. It is going to embarrass you. You will see in black and white that you have spent thousands of dollars on things you no longer have, that you don't remember enjoying, and that have contributed absolutely nothing positive to your life. You will feel a knot in your stomach seeing the total sum of wasted money, money that cost you hours of life to earn and that you threw away in seconds. Good. That pain is necessary. That pain is the awakening. Most people avoid looking at their numbers precisely because they want to avoid that pain. They prefer to live in happy ignorance while their ship sinks slowly. But you cannot afford that suicidal luxury. If you want to change your life radically in 90 days, you have to have the courage to face the naked and ugly truth of your current habits. Once you have the raw and painful data in front of you, you are going to apply the immediate 10% rule. You are going to look for recurring expenses that you can eliminate right now with a single call or a click to free up 10% of your monthly cash flow without drastically changing your quality of life. You will be surprised how easy it is when you have the information in front of you. That car insurance you haven't renegotiated in 3 years out of laziness? Call the company and threaten to leave. They will lower the price in 10 minutes. That gym subscription you went to twice in January and that now only generates guilt? Cancel it. Stop paying for your aspiration and start paying for your reality. The unlimited data plan when you are always connected to Wi-Fi at home or work? Lower it to the basic plan. In a single afternoon of focused administrative work, you can give yourself an effective pay raise of 10%. That extra money doesn't come from working more hours or asking your boss for a favor. It comes from stopping being stupid with the money you already have. It is the easiest, fastest, and tax-free money you will ever earn. But the autopsy is not just a numbers exercise. It is fundamentally an exercise in behavioral psychology. While you review your expenses line by line, I want you to ask yourself an honest question for each one of them. Did I buy this because I really needed it to live or improve my life? Or did I buy it because I felt sad, bored, lonely, or insecure in that moment? You will discover with horror that 80% of your discretionary spending is purely emotional. They are failed and expensive attempts to cure something that money cannot cure. They are patches for stress, for loneliness, or for a lack of purpose.
By identifying these emotional triggers, I spend when I have stress at work. I spend when I see my friends with new clothes on Instagram. You start to deactivate them. You stop being an automaton that responds blindly to marketing stimuli and start being a strategist who allocates resources with intention. This process of deep autopsy and initial cleaning prepares the fertile ground for what comes next. Because in the next days of the challenge, we are going to stop playing defense, which is necessary but not sufficient, and we are going to start playing offense. But you cannot attack with force if you have structural holes in your own fortress. Seal the cracks, face the truth, and prepare yourself, because once you know exactly where you stand, I will finally be able to teach you how to jump with precision toward where you really want to go. You have done the autopsy. You have stopped the bleeding. Now we are going to do something radical that goes against your traditional financial survival instinct. We are going to trick your brain into building wealth without you noticing.
We are going to create what I call the phantom account. The problem with having money in your main checking account is that if you see it, you spend it. It is the financial Parkinson's law. Your expenses always expand to match the available money. If you see $1,000 in the ATM, your brain tells you, I have $1,000 to spend, and it finds a way to do it. The phantom account is a savings or investment account at a different bank than the one you usually use. You must not have a debit card associated with it. You must not have that bank's app on your phone's home screen. It must be hard to access. It must be invisible in your day-to-day life. During these 90 days, you are going to configure an automatic transfer that happens the same day you receive your salary. Before paying rent, before buying food, before anything, the money moves to the phantom account. Start with the 10% you freed up in the autopsy. If you can, push it to 20%. What will happen is magical. At first, you will feel a little panic. I'm short on money. But as human beings, we are incredibly adaptable. In a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, you will adapt to living with the remaining 80% or 90%. You will adjust your expenses naturally. You will stop buying nonsense because there is no money in the account. Meanwhile, in the darkness, in that phantom account, the money starts to accumulate. By not seeing it, you don't have the temptation to spend it. It becomes a wealth tax that you charge yourself. This is the only way to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. You have to pay yourself first, and you have to do it in a way that doesn't require willpower. Willpower runs out. Automation is eternal. If you depend on remembering to save at the end of the month, you will fail. If the system does it for you, you will win. In 90 days, you will look at that phantom account and see a figure that will give you a peace of mind you haven't felt in years. That money is not for spending. It is the seed of your freedom. It is the initial capital of your empire. And you have accumulated it almost without pain, simply by hiding it from your spending self. You already have the automatic system working. Now we are going to attack the psychological root of your poverty, the addiction to novelty. During these 90 days, you are going to undergo a consumption fast. I don't mean stopping eating. I mean stopping buying things. The rule is simple. During 3 months, you can only spend money on consumables, food, hygiene products, gas, and essential services, electricity, water, internet. It is strictly forbidden to buy clothes, electronics, furniture, decoration, gadgets, toys, or any physical object that is not vital for your survival. Why do we do this? It isn't just to save money, although you will save a lot. It is to reset your brain's dopamine receptors. Right now, you are conditioned to receive a hit of pleasure every time you click Buy on Amazon or swipe your card at a store. That pleasure lasts 5 minutes, and then comes the guilt, and then the desire to buy something else. It is a hamster wheel. By cutting off the supply of new things for 90 days, you force your brain to seek satisfaction elsewhere. At first, you will feel anxiety. You will feel boredom. You will feel that you need those new shoes. But if you resist, something wonderful happens around day 30 or 40. The desire disappears. You start to rediscover the things you already have. You start to find pleasure in free experiences. A walk, a conversation, reading a book you had on the shelf. You realize that happiness was not in the Amazon box. This dopamine detox is vital. If you don't cure your addiction to emotional spending, no matter how much money you earn, you will always spend it all. Millionaires who go broke do so because they never learned to control this impulse. You are going to learn it now, when there is less at stake, so that when you have millions, you know how to keep them. Furthermore, this fast will make you creative. If something breaks, you will try to fix it instead of replacing it. If you get bored, you will create something instead of buying entertainment. You are training your mind to be productive, not consumerist. At the end of the 90 days, you will have broken the spell of consumerism. You will be free. You will be able to walk into a shopping mall and feel no need to buy anything. That power, that indifference towards things, is the true mark of mental wealth. We have cleared the ground, we have automated savings, and we have cured the mind. Now it is time to plant. In the middle of our 90-day challenge, we are going to learn the fundamental difference that separates the rich from the poor, the direction of the flow of money. Most people work for money to buy liabilities. They work, earn money, buy car, TV, clothes. Money is gone. It is a linear flow that ends in zero. They have to go back to work to spend again. The rich work for money to buy assets. They work, earn money, buy stocks, bonds, businesses. Money stays and generates more money. It is a circular flow that grows exponentially. During this quarter, with the money that is accumulating in your phantom account, you are going to make your first real investment. You are not going to speculate. You are not going to gamble. You are going to buy a money-making machine. For most, the best first machine is an S&P 500 index fund. It is boring, it is slow, and it is the safest way to get rich in history. I want you to feel, physically, what it is to be an owner of the means of production. When you buy a share of Apple or Coca-Cola through an index, you stop being just a consumer of their products. You become an owner. Every time someone drinks a Coca-Cola anywhere in the world, a small fraction of a penny travels into your pocket. That changes your perspective. You no longer see the world as a place to spend, but as a place to collect. Your goal in these 90 days is not to become a millionaire with this investment. It is to establish the habit of buying freedom. Every dollar you invest is an employee working for you 24 hours a day, without vacations, without complaints. If you manage to have $100 working for you, then you will want 1,000, and then 10,000. It is addictive, but it is a positive addiction. It is the addiction to building. Do not worry if the market goes up or down in these 3 months. In fact, if it goes down, better. You are buying cheaper. You are in the accumulation phase. What is important is that you break the psychological barrier of saving money to spend it later and move to saving money to make it work forever. Once you cross that line, once you see your first dividend arrive in your account without you having had to lift a finger, there is no turning back. You have tasted the blood of financial freedom. You cannot fill a bucket if it has holes in the bottom, and you cannot build wealth if you are paying 20% interest on a credit card. Consumer debt is the cancer of wealth. It is reverse compound interest working against you with brutal force. In the second half of our 90-day challenge, we are going to declare total war on toxic debt. I'm not talking about your home mortgage. That can wait. I am talking about credit cards, personal loans, car debts with high interest. That money you owe the bank is enslaving you. You are working hours of your life just to pay rent on the money you spent in the past. We are going to use the snowball or the avalanche method, whichever you prefer, but we are going to attack with violence. All the extra money you generate, which we will see in the next part, and all the savings you have achieved with the consumption fast is going to be destined to annihilate these debts. It is not fun. It is not glamorous.
But it is the investment with the highest guaranteed return that exists. Paying off a credit card at 20% is mathematically equal to earning 20% in the stock market, tax-free and risk-free. It is the best business in the world. I want you to get angry at your debt. I want you to see it as a personal enemy that lives in your house and eats your food. Sell things if necessary. That giant TV you bought on credit? Sell it. Pay the debt and keep the peace of mind. That car that costs you half your salary? Sell it. Buy a cheap one and free yourself. During these 90 days, your mission is to reach point zero, or get as close as possible. The feeling of owing nothing to anyone is indescribable. It is a lightness in the chest. You walk differently. You sleep better. When you don't have mandatory monthly payments, your cost of living drops drastically. You need less money to be free. Your freedom number becomes more attainable. If you manage to eliminate or drastically reduce your debt in this quarter, you will have taken the handbrake off your financial life. The car of your wealth, which before was trying to climb the hill with the brake on, will now be able to accelerate. And to accelerate, we need fuel. We need income. In the next part, we are going to talk about how to earn more money in these 90 days without asking your boss for a raise. Saving has a limit. You cannot save more than you earn. But income has no ceiling. During this 90-day challenge, we are going to break the limiting belief that your only source of money is your salary. You are going to launch an income experiment. The goal is not to build the next Google in 3 months.
The goal is to earn your first dollar outside your traditional job. I want you to look for a skill you already have, something that is easy for you but difficult or tedious for others, and monetize it. It could be walking dogs, cleaning garages, selling old things on eBay, teaching Spanish online, designing basic logos. You don't need a website. You don't need business cards. You only need a client. Dedicate 5 hours a week to this experiment. Just 5 hours. If you manage to earn $50 extra a week, that's $200 a month. Those $200 invested at 10% over 40 years are more than $1 million. That little side hustle is a millionaire seed. But more important than the money is the mindset shift. When you earn money on your own, you realize that money is abundant. It is everywhere. You just have to provide value to collect it. You stop depending so much on your boss. You stop being afraid of being fired. You know that, in the worst case, you can go out to the street and generate money. That security is power. During these 90 days, I want you to obsess over the question, how can I provide value to someone today? If you solve problems, they will pay you. It is the law of the market. Don't look for the get-rich-doing-nothing scheme. Look for the dirty work no one wants to do. That is where the margins are. Clean what is dirty. Order what is messy. Fix what is broken. It is the most honest and fastest money that exists. At the end of the 90 days, you will have a new source of income. Maybe small, but yours. And you will have the confidence of knowing that you are a generator of wealth, not just a receiver of wages. That identity is what will make you rich in the long term. We have already talked about money, habits, and work. Now it is time to talk about something that hurts more: people. There is a saying that is mathematically true. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your 5 best friends are broke, spend everything they earn, complain about the economy, and mock those who try to improve, you will be the 6th. It is inevitable. Social pressure is a force of nature. During these 90 days of silent transformation, you are going to notice something. As you change your habits, as you stop spending on nonsense and start talking about investment or projects, some people in your environment will feel uncomfortable. They will tell you, "Why are you so boring? You've become a cheapskate. You're not fun anymore." They don't say it out of malice. They say it out of fear. Your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Your discipline highlights their lack of it. You have to be strong. You have to perform a social pruning. It doesn't mean you have to fight with your lifelong friends, but it does mean you must reduce the time you spend with financially toxic people and increase the time with people who inspire you. During this quarter, look for new role models. If you don't know millionaires in person, look for them in books, in podcasts, on YouTube. Spend your free hours listening to Charlie Munger, to Ray Dalio, to people who have built empires. Let their voices replace the voices of complaint and conformity. Protect your energy. You are in a vulnerable moment of change. A cynical comment from a friend can derail your progress if you are not armored. Keep your mission secret. Remember the rule of silence. Don't tell them what you are doing. Simply do it. When they see the results in a year or 2, they will ask you how you did it. Then you can teach them. But for now, protect yourself. Your environment must be a tailwind,
not an anchor. If you have to walk alone for 90 days to reach the top, walk alone. The loneliness of the long-distance runner is better than the company of those walking toward the cliff. At the end of the 90 days, you will have raised your standards, and naturally, you will start to attract people who vibrate at that new frequency of success and responsibility. You reach the end of the quarter. It has been hard. You have said no to many things. You have worked extra. You have studied your expenses. You have felt the withdrawal of consumption. But then, day 91 dawns,
And you realize something surprising. It no longer requires effort. What at first required titanic willpower is now automatic. Saving 20% of your salary is no longer a sacrifice, it is normal. Not buying useless things is no longer a deprivation, it is a preference. Analyzing your expenses is no longer a chore, it is a control ritual you enjoy. You have rewired your brain. You have crossed the threshold. Neuroplasticity has done its job. Your neural pathways have changed from consumer to owner. Now, wealth is your natural state. And this is where the true magic of compound interest begins, not just of money, but of habits. If you maintain this pace, not for 90 days, but for 90 months, you will be unstoppable. The difference between who you are today and who you will be in 5 years will be abysmal. Your friends won't recognize you. Your bank account won't look like yours. You will have built a fortress so solid that no economic crisis, no layoff, and no inflation will be able to knock you down. But careful, day 91 is also the most dangerous day. It is the day when you can fall into the trap of, "I made it," and go back to your old ways. "I've been good for 3 months. I deserve a reward." And you go and buy a new car, and you destroy everything. No, the reward is not spending. The reward is freedom. The reward is looking at your account and knowing you own your time. The reward is sleeping peacefully. Celebrate day 91, yes, but celebrate it with gratitude, not consumption. Celebrate it by reviewing your goals and setting a more ambitious objective for the next quarter. In the next 90 days, I am going to double my extra income. I am going to increase my savings rate to 30%. The game never ends, but it becomes more fun as you keep winning. You have installed the operating system of wealth in your mind. Now you just have to let it run and update it from time to time. The hard part is over. The rocket has taken off and has overcome gravity. Now you are in orbit. To close this protocol, we need to seal the pact. Words are carried away by the wind. Intentions are forgotten on Monday morning. You need a contract, a physical contract, signed with yourself. I want you to take a sheet of paper right now. Do not leave it for later. Write at the top, Silent Wealth Contract, your name, and write these clauses. Silence. I promise not to speak about my financial plans for 90 days. I will let my results speak for me. Truth. I promise to audit my expenses weekly without lying to myself. Priority. I promise to pay myself first before anyone else. Discipline. I promise not to buy liabilities during this period. Only survival and investment. Growth. I promise to dedicate time every day to learn and increase my value. Sign it. Put today's date and the completion date within 90 days. Stick this contract on your bathroom mirror or on your fridge door, where you see it every damn day. When you feel the temptation to give up, when your friends pressure you to spend, when you feel tired, read the contract. Remember that you signed a commitment with the most important person in your life, your future self. Your future self is watching you right now. He or she is waiting for you to do the dirty work today so that he or she can live a life of freedom tomorrow. Do not fail him. You have the map. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. 90 days, 12 weeks, 3 months. It is a blink of an eye on the scale of a life, but it is enough time to change the destiny of your surname forever. Start today. Start in silence, and do not stop until the train moves by itself. I am Warren Buffett, and I tell you that wealth is waiting on the other side of those 90 days. Go get it.